Hello, hello, and welcome to the season finale of season two, Tany Talks Live. So, today on this episode, we are talking about how to self love, right? Uh, in order to self love, it is really important to establish exactly what self love is, right? So, I think self love is pretty much self explanatory, right? It's loving thyself. But let's talk a little bit like more about what it really means. I would say self love for the most part is um, having a sense of self acceptance, right? It's pretty much accepting like who you are and accepting, that you're not perfect and everybody's like kind of human, right? Hi everyone, thank you guys for joining. As I mentioned, today is the season finale of Tany Talks Live. So we're talking about how to self love, and I feel like that's a really good topic to kind of end the season with because it's really helpful to kind of everyone. I feel like self love is like acceptance of thyself, right? Like some ways to kind of learn how to self love is to kind of establish and actually get to know yourself, right? Like get to know your triggers, right? Because not everybody knows what their triggers are, whether it's their happy triggers or their sad triggers or their anger triggers. So that's kind of knowing what loving yourself is about, is kind of understanding yourself and knowing what your triggers are. So that's a really good way to kind of go down the journey of kind of self-love, right? Because everybody's journey for self-love is different too. You can't always say, one person's journey is the same as another, and one way how to do it is good for everyone, because it isn't. I'm just gonna read off some comments here because I see it's going off. I had to accept myself in order to evolve, for sure. Yeah, because it's like, how are you gonna move forward with yourself if you don't even accept yourself? There's always that saying where people say, how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself, right? I think we've all kind of heard of that saying. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, what is your thoughts of like self-love? How do you guys like love yourselves? Like, what are some traits that you guys do in order to, kind of show yourself some type of love, right? Because it's important. So I want to know like what you guys do. I'm going to see and talk about their journeys for self-love, because I feel like this that's dedication to yourself, dedication to your own well-being.
Girl,
Hello.
I'm in my dark. Let me turn on my living room light. I look a hot mess. You
Hi.
always making me join live when I look a hot mess. But hello.
Hi, welcome to Tany Talks Live. So we're talking about how to self-love. Like, what are some really good healthy habits that you have in order to self-love that you'd like to share?
Healthy habits.
Yeah.
Um, the self love. Well, honestly, I'm not in no like condition to give any advice on how to self love. Honestly, because I'm still in the process of learning to love thyself.
I
And
mean, I feel like loving yourself is a constant journey. I feel like you've never really get to the end of like kind of loving yourself. I feel like loving yourself is a constant type of like it's part of your life. Like you're
mhm.
always going to be having a constant improvement within your life and within yourself. So that's really honest to say that you feel like you can't really give advice
Yeah,
because
because I just feel like 1 minute I feel happy and goggly and I'm like, I'm that bitch. And then the next minute it's like, oh, I'm ugly, I'm sad, I'm down and depressed. And
yeah.
I guess I think the most how I try to love myself is understanding myself, finding the
Yeah.
problem of why I am the way I am, and just being able to not fix, but learn from it, because people feel like, oh well, this is this and you got to fix this in order to accept love or
Right.
love people, and that phrase, I want to touch on that phrase you said, how can you love someone if you don't love yourself?
Right.
And I think that's like a very overrated phrase,
Right.
because I feel like I don't really love myself the way I should. But I love like the shit out of my son. Like he pushes me to do what I have to do as a mother to give him the love that I felt like wasn't poured into me as a child. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like I make sure my son like knows that he's loved. I always like, I'm gentle with him
Yeah.
and with different approaches because I feel like as a person, you know, I'm not all there. I'm not all
I
there.
mean, I think we're all like not all there, but
I'm
I
not
feel
I'm
like
not all there, but because I know I'm not all there, I'm taking the steps where I feel like as a parent, I feel like probably if I had my mom more around and was able to have a bond with her, I pressure his father, my son's father, to be more verbally involved with him because I feel like it plays a big part in self-love. When you give your kid that confidence, knowing it's okay to mess up, it's okay never to be
right.
right all the time, and just accepting them and loving them,
Yeah.
I feel like it creates them to love themselves in the
I was gonna
future.
say that too. I think a huge part of self love is actually forgiving yourself and being able to forgive yourself. Like you have to understand that you are not perfect.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And a part of self love is allowing yourself to make mistakes, even where it's like, okay, I'm still learning. You can't be too hard on yourself. Like a huge part of loving yourself, I would say, is forgiving yourself. So I think it's okay, just kind of forgive yourself, and others even sometimes too. It takes a point where in order to love yourself, sometimes you have to understand you just gotta forgive even the people around you.
it's
Sometimes where
not about. It's not a. I wouldn't say it's more so forgiving. I just feel like it's accepting because when you forgive, right? People say I forgive, but behind your mind, it's just like, yo, that really hurt me. Like anything could trigger that moment where you forgave somebody for something. Anything could trigger anything. You
right.
understand what I'm saying? And I
But
say accepting
that's
because
why
you have.
understanding what your triggers are
Hmm.
and knowing like, okay, I know this is gonna get me upset, but you know what? I'm gonna be chill about this, or just staying away from those triggers and kind of like
Right.
realizing them head on before you get into them. Or even realizing what your happiness triggers are, because some people don't even realize some things even make you happy. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna gravitate
See,
more
look,
to those things that kind of
but
make you
look,
happy.
but look what someone comment. I think that's Amanda. She said, "I don't have kids, but I had to forgive my parents in order to self love for real, for real." And
Right.
I'm telling you, girl, it really has to do with your upbringing. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. I watched my dad love my mom to the end. And I
Right.
think that's where I get my loving from, watching my dad love and just, what my mom did, and what we went through as kids. So
Right.
for my father to continue loving her after all of that was just like, how can you love someone? And I felt like, because he felt like this is his family, this is who he started a kid with, and
Right.
he took his vows very seriously. So in a way, I'm like my dad. So I feel like I try to make sure, even when I'm yelling at my son, I'll pull him and be like, babe, I wasn't mad, but you gotta understand, you don't do this, you don't do that. Because sometimes you yell at your kids and they be like, my parents don't love me, and sometimes
Right.
beating your child is disciplining, and discipline is not, it's not, people think discipline is to like, discipline
I
is
mean,
to
I definitely feel like self-love definitely starts you
it
should
starts
start
from
from like the home, right?
home. It
Because
starts
a
from
lot
the
of the times
home.
people don't even know how to self-love growing up, and that's why we have that problem when we're adults, identifying these things because our
Yeah.
parents didn't teach us to, accept ourselves. The parents didn't
Girl,
teach us to acknowledge our own feelings.
girl,
We weren't
girl, you watch.
taught to like look in the mirror and give self
Yeah, girl,
affirmations
I
every day
watched,
and
I
love
watched,
yourself.
I literally watched my mom chase men after men that did not value her. And my first real relationship, I got into a relationship with a man who made me feel like I was nothing. And honestly, I was chasing him for years. I overdosed. I tried to kill myself over this man because I watched my mom do this, and I'm thinking it's okay, and I got my father trading me. Like, you love someone regardless. And it's like,
Right.
no. But then when it comes to self-love, I realize, you know what? You don't do that. Don't ever let no man bring you that way.
Right.
And you start loving yourself more. You understand what I'm saying? To the point where now because of that
But you
first
know
time.
what it is? A lot of people grow up and for some reason they feel like they need someone to love them in order for them to love themselves. Because a lot of times you don't
But
see
sometimes
value within yourself.
you do, though.
Yeah, sometimes you
Sometimes
don't
you
see
need
value within
a,
yourself. So we
a
grow up
person
thinking
can a
that
person can be a drug.
we need somebody in order to feel
Yes,
value.
we do, because a
Right.
person can be a drug, meaning a person can be your happy place. A person can see that beautiful in you that you see in yourself, but because you've been through so much shit that it's like you feel like you're not as beautiful as you think you are,
Right.
right? But then you have this person who you with that sees the beauty in you, and it's like, you know what? I'm an amazing person. I'm this and I'm that, because it's like I see it, and now this person I'm with sees it too. You understand what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like a person can be a drug. I don't care what nobody say. A person can want, you have to want for yourself, but when you have someone else wanting what you want for
Right.
yourself,
And I feel like for women, I feel like it's a little bit like harder too, because I find myself always feeling like I need to be with somebody or something like that. But I have to also tell myself, like, in order to love myself, I need to understand that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be single. It's okay for someone not being there and validating you all the time. Sometimes you gotta really sit
and
there.
tell
And I was looking at
yourself,
I was looking at a video, and the woman was saying that she goes into the mirror every day and she points out something that she likes about herself, and she every day that she does it, she starts to find something new that she likes about herself. And at first, the first few seconds that you look in the mirror and you say those things, you immediately start to think of the ugly things, right? But then every day that you do it, the ugly things start to become things that you start to like, and then you start to find more things that you like. So I feel like that's another way that you could kind of self-love yourself, is kind of like look in the mirror and tell yourself, like, I like the way my eyes look today. I like the way my nose looks. I like my
everything.
hair.
And
You know?
manifestation is a real thing. People don't believe so, but I think manifestation plays a part. And I'm not gonna stay here and be like, oh, this and that. I love myself sometimes. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's sometimes where I want to be ugly just because, you know what, people want to be ugly to me. I could be fucking terrible and disgusting. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. I
But
mean,
then
that's the real shit to
but
say.
it's
Sometimes
sometimes
you don't
like
want to
you
be ugly.
say,
That was
when I
wrong.
look at myself, I be like, oh my God, I'm breaking out. But I could go outside and a guy thinks I'm like beautiful. I be at work behind the register and I just be like, with all these marks on my face. You feel me? Like, with my hair looking like this, I look beautiful. What the fuck is wrong with you? But appreciate
Right.
it. But then it comes back to, you gotta love yourself. You gotta know,
You have
like,
to learn how to love
yeah,
yourself, especially.
but it's not as easy as it sounds. That takes a lot of,
It's
like,
not.
it takes a lot of personal time. You have to, in order to really love yourself, you have to go on that personal journey where you really learn who you are, and that journey is involved being single. That means not dating nobody. I know a female that has been celibate for like about 7 years. And, she plays with toys and all that, but she says she just feels like she knows what she wants in life, and she loves herself to know that until she finds a man that is worthy of her, she's not
Right.
giving up no pussy.
Of
And
course.
that takes a lot. 7 years, bro. No
I think a
penetration.
big part of loving yourself also is learning how not to settle. Like, I feel like you don't have to settle in order to say you love yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no one to make you feel like you have to be with them in order to love yourself. Like, loving yourself is also having boundaries and setting boundaries.
That's a fact.
Learning how to say no sometimes is loving yourself. Not learning how not to settle is like ways to
Girl,
love yourself. There's so
preach.
many different ways that, like, to show your own self-love. And I feel like keeping yourself up clean and making yourself look good is another way of self-love. Like grooming yourself, because I know sometimes when you're sad and depressed, you don't want to look too good. You don't care about how you look, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And you start to feel down in the dumps. And that's okay sometimes to feel like that. But I feel like you can't stay in that sucky mood forever. You have to
Right.
find and that kind of keeps you going. And you know, don't look for it in another individual, because I feel like a lot of times, sometimes we lean a lot on our partners and things like
We
that. Like, you're
do.
supposed to be the
We
person that
do.
makes me happy, and in reality, that person is not in this earth to sit here and make you happy. You need to learn how to
Yeah.
make yourself happy
But
sometimes. You know, like, it is not their job
what
to love you more than you love yourself. That's freaking ridiculous. You know what I
no,
mean?
I mean, everybody has their opinion because I feel like I love others more than I love myself because I feel like I know how it feels not to be loved, and I would never want nobody that is in my space to ever
Right.
feel like I don't love them. Like I can sit everybody in a room, everybody that I know in a room, and ask them one by one, do you think I love you? Do you think I love you? And I guarantee you, 100%, 10 toes down, they're all going to say yes. You
Right.
understand? And that's because I know how it feels to want to be loved, want your friends to be there, want your partners to be there, family involved, and everything. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I know
But I
that
feel like that's
feeling.
a lot of pressure. That's
It's a lot of pressure, but that's what
yeah.
makes me happy.
Right.
And I feel like, yeah, I don't love myself, but I feel like sometimes, and this is how I look at it, I could be wrong, but I feel like God puts everybody on this earth to do what needs to be done, and have a path for everybody. Path is different. And
Right.
I feel like my purpose on this earth is to spread love. And I've been accepting of not really receiving love because I feel like I'm one of God's chosen angel to give love, to
And
give
not
that.
get love.
Yes, I really believe that. And
But you
that's why
have to
some
remember to love yourself
no,
too.
I do love myself.
Yeah.
Like I like, but this is how I look at it. I feel like I'm so highly favored by God because of the stuff that I've been through in life, and to be where I'm at today is such a blessing. And it's like, you know what? I might not love myself, but I know God loves me because look at where I'm at. Like when I wake up every day, when I go in my kitchen, when I take my son to school, the type of son I have, the type of love my son gives me, like
That's a great way to kind of look
I,
at it. Like,
I
sometimes
just
we
feel
look
like
for love within our partners and we forget, like, you know, I know that my mom loves me. I know
right.
that my siblings love me. I know that my daughter loves me. Like, I am loved. Like, even though, like, I might not have a partner and so, like, a long-term, like, love relationship, I know for a fact that I still have love.
Mhm.
Like, that doesn't mean I don't have love. I have love for my daughter. I have love for my family. And sometimes that's just enough just to know that you're loved. You know what I mean? And know that people care about you.
See,
And
I'm not gonna
sometimes you
sit
gotta
here
take
and
a
say
moment to celebrate, like, all of your small wins. I feel like that's another good way where you could kind of love yourself, even though it's something little.
yeah.
Celebrate it, like,
Like I
celebrate
feel
all of your
like
small wins because
like
they matter.
I feel like one, two, like I feel like I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm very spiritual when it comes to certain things, but I feel like my body, like I don't know why, but I gravitate to people that I feel like is hurt.
Right.
And I feel like when I see that they're hurt, even though I'm hurt and damaged, it's like, you know what?
It
Let
helps
me
heal you by
it
helping them
it helps
almost in a
heal
way.
me because it's like, you
Yeah.
know what? You feel like nobody cares. Well, I care. What you need done, what you need help with. How can I help you? And I gravitate to it because I feel like, I feel that way sometimes too, but I want you to know it's gonna be all right. But
Yeah.
like I said,
Yeah. Some
I
people are very much
personally
like
feel like
empaths, and
I
they just
personally feel like I'm here on earth, and I'm not gonna say I'm not loved. You understand what I'm saying? I just feel like self-love wise, I feel like I can't self-love because I think I'm here to give love. Meaning
right.
I'm here to make everybody feel love, to pour love, and to talk to people who doesn't feel love. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Right.
To show people that you're appreciated and you're worth more than what you
Yeah,
are.
to kind of help people overcome their lack of self love and their
Yes,
way
because I
of
feel like
giving more love.
I know
Yeah.
how it gets, and honestly, yeah, I have my days, but see, I'm a smart person, and my first heartbreak, like I told you, I told myself I would never lose myself over a man like that. So now I have these standards, and I don't play that shit. You want to treat me like that? Get the fuck out my
Right.
face. Are you dumb? I love you, but you're not gonna sit here and treat me like that. That's self-love. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? And then I'd be crying like, but why you don't this and that? I'm not understanding, because at the same time, it's like you want this person to wanna love you and love you the right way. And if you can't love me the right way, how you expect me to
You
love
gotta
you?
go. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you got to.
like
I feel like it's also really important, like a real important part of like loving yourself is being around positive people. Sometimes you have to keep yourself around positive people. Like this, you can't always feel like you gotta be around people who are broken, because sometimes them negative Nancy's could really be draining to you. And it's like it's not fair to you to put them before yourself, you know?
yeah.
And that's why they say to kind of love yourself first, because even though you love somebody else so much, you can't help everybody. Some people are just like not good people to be around. So it's really important to kind of you know,
I mean, you should know
be
within
around
the fine.
positive energy.
Yeah, you
And
should know.
like I feel like
At this age, everybody should know who their friends are and who's better
I
than
mean
not.
not so much, because I feel like social media also has like an unrealistic expectation sometimes for people to even like love themselves. Like I feel like, there's like um fake relationships, fake friendships, fake images, like, so it just makes it even harder for you to like love yourself. I feel like, like you have to like
I don't,
wear
I,
lashes every
I
day
don't know.
when you go outside.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, because I might love a little bit of, I love my IG and all that for like a good laugh. I like to look at stupid videos, ratchet shit,
Yeah.
drama. But when it comes to like the self image, like the image where it's like, this is how you have to live, this is what's fly, and this is what's fashion, and
Right.
look how this other person is living, or look at this IG model, and oh, look
Because
at
I feel
her
like with
look
Instagram
at
there's
her
a lot
body.
of
I
comparing
personally,
yourself to other
but
people.
I'm different. Everybody's different. I
Yeah.
don't care for that. You have to be really involved into social media to feel like you have to compare your life to the IG model, to Kim Kardashian, or Nikki with the new Lamborghini, or the relationship goals that you think is goals. Like,
Right.
no, because everything that glitter ain't gold. You understand what I'm saying? And they might got her nice body done, but you don't know what she had to do for the body. And then
Hi, thank you
he
for
she
joining.
she she put herself under the table just to get likes on. Like, you gotta really look at it. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
People be like, oh, I got my body done. I got my body done, right? Listen, I
Right.
got my body done because I wanted a mommy makeover. I wanted some confidence. So you mean to tell me something woke up in your mind, like, if I get a fat ass, I can have confidence? God created everybody the way he created them. Period. God makes no
I
mistakes.
mean, some people don't love themselves because they feel ugly.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but
So they
if
feel like
you if you
if
feel
I change
ugly,
the way
there's
I look,
makeup.
I
There's
love
the
myself, and
gym.
other
There's the
people will love
gym.
me.
There's something called dieting. You think that getting a fat ass and a flat stomach is what's gonna boost your self image? You could
Yeah,
couture your no,
people
you could couture your
do
nose.
though. That's why
I
it's so
know,
hard.
and this is what I mean by everybody is different. You see how
Yeah.
you feel like I don't think that way. I don't think like, all right, you got your body done and you still got the same pussy, you still got the same head, you the same bitch, just new body. That's it.
Yeah.
What, you got implants that probably is gonna deflate in a couple of years, or probably give y'all that might be sick a couple years from now.
Right.
Y'all might all die a slow death. Honestly speaking,
Right.
I don't want to talk, but y'all
Don't
probably gonna
say.
be dropping like flies by the age of 60. They want to look like Bernie Spergel so bad. By that
She's so
age, you gotta.
fire though. I'm not even gonna lie.
Bro, Bernice Spergel's fire for how old she is, but these girls. I don't know, but that's the self-image of that self-love, and she got the new Birkin. Oh, let me go get the Birkin. Oh,
I mean,
Chanel is
because some
popping.
people feel
Let
like they gotta look good to love themselves, you know, because
No,
of
I'm not
social
saying
media
that. You can
standards.
look good, but what does you going to go get your body
Yeah,
done
I
and
mean,
driving
and
a Rolls Royce and stuff gonna make you look good just to live a life and keep up with a life that you think that you like? You basically, what's it called, living beyond your means
yeah, that's why I will
for
also
self-love.
say like in some
No,
really good
self-love is not
ways.
living beyond your means.
Some really good ways to like self love yourself, I will also say, would be like limiting your time like on social media and like learning how to be your own best friend. You know how they be saying, oh, I want to go do this, I want to go do that. Go do it, and go do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Like there's times where I go out to eat and went out to eat by myself. I went out to the movies by
Yeah.
myself, and I have to learn how to sometimes understand like sometimes you really got to be your own best friend. Like stop
Yeah.
looking into others to like fill that void. Sometimes you gotta learn how to fill that void within yourself
Girl,
sometimes.
I used to, I haven't gone, haven't taken, when's the last time I took myself out to eat? The last time I took myself out to eat, I went to like the spot in Harlem and I met some dude that was, um, like, oh, you eating by yourself? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, why? I'm like, why can't I? And he was like, can I keep you company? I'm like,
That's nice. See?
sure. And we just started talking and vibing, and he was a tap dancer from Harlem,
I
and
was gonna say, just
just,
imagine all the energies that come with when you
and
see
he
someone
was
sitting
like,
down eating by themselves.
he,
Like
he,
when you see somebody sitting down eating by themselves, I'm like, that person is the most confident individual. Like
he,
nothing can break this person because they are just
and
chilling, eating their meal by
he
themselves, and that
was
makes
talking
me
to
see
me.
that that person loves themselves.
Remember the girl me and you met at the bar?
Yeah.
Remember I
Oh,
took you to
oh
the
yes, we
restaurant?
went to that fusion place, right?
Yeah, and she was sitting by herself, and we just started vibing with her. Like,
Right.
oh, she's like, I just wanted to come out and get a couple of drinks.
Yeah, so like she's
Okay.
basically being her own best friend. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like, like, and I feel like, there's multiple things that you can do to kind of like love yourself, to stick around the people that kind of love you and remind you like who you are, because it's a journey. It's a journey. Sometimes, like you said, sometimes you feel ugly. Sometimes you don't want to love yourself. Sometimes it's like, I need someone to love me on the days that I can't love myself, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And some days it's like, you know what? I might not love myself today, but I'm gonna go and give this person some type of love because I feel like it'll just make me feel better,
Right.
just giving that person just a
Bitch,
little bit
it
of
feels
love.
it makes me feel so good when I could go into Burger King and the guy's like, spare change, and I'd be like, you hungry? He'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, come on. And he'll come with me. I'd be like, order whatever you want right now. He'd be
Uh-huh.
like, well, I'm like, order whatever you want. I don't care what it is. Just get what you need. And
Right.
they'll get it. Or if I'm in the supermarket and they like $1, I'm like, what you need? I just trying to get some money for some detergent. You want
Right.
detergent? Yeah. You really gonna wash clothes? Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let's go get some detergent. I'd be like, get them detergent, buy the detergent. Thank you so much. You understand what I'm saying? I remember one
Right.
time during the pandemic, it was some kids in front of CVS, and the kid was panhandling,
Uh-huh.
and he was like with his little brother, and I felt some type of way because during the pandemic they was giving extra food stamps. I get EBT, so they was giving out all the kids extra EBT during the pandemic. So when I saw the kids asking for money, and I was like, "What you need money for, baby?" And he was like, we need to buy some food. That shit touched my heart. And I dead went into the supermarket and I got them some groceries and I gave them $20
Uh-huh.
and
God
I
bless
said,
you.
go home. Go home. I say, here, I got like, like rice. I got them some beans. I got them 2 packages of meat.
Yeah,
Got them
sometimes all it
some
takes.
box mac and cheese and stuff. I think I probably spent like about like $60 of the EBT I had. And I gave them $20 in cash in case they needed like, toilet paper or whatever. And he said, thank you so much. And, he probably was like
Right.
about
That was so nice
he
of
probably
you.
was like 11 or something, I would say, and his brother looked like he was like 6. Like it was a little boy, and he was really in front of CVS, opening doors, asking for money, and I'm
Uh-huh.
just like, "Is this what the fuck is going on?" And it was dead on Burnside and I
I feel
dead
like
took him to the supermarket. Like, that was
doing good
crazy.
deeds,
Like,
I
stuff
feel
like
like,
that makes me feel love. Like,
yeah,
I just pour
makes you
love
want to show
into
love and
a
show love.
kid that when he gets older, he's gonna be like, y'all remember this one time I was I was in front of CVS and we was poor. I don't know if his mom is on drugs. I don't know if he is getting beaten at home or isn't even getting fed at home. I don't know what this child's story was. But to know that when he gets older, he's gonna remember me. Like, I remember this lady one time and I was asking for money and she took me to the store and got me some groceries and gave me some money. Like, that's pouring love into him to the point where when he gets older, he might be able
To do a good
to,
deed or something for
yeah,
someone
you
else in the
understand what I'm
future.
saying?
Yeah.
Or be appreciative and be like, I would never this and that. Or he'll probably grow up to be someone who helps
Right.
kids in it. You understand what I'm saying? One
I
little
mean,
act
I really
goes a
appreciate you
long way.
sharing your story about, like, how to love and everything. So I
Bye.
want to thank you so much for joining the live. And I just want to say, self-loving for everyone is different, right? There's different things that people do in order to feel their sense of self-love, whether it's looking at yourself in the mirror and finding something that you love about yourself every day, whether it's doing something nice for somebody else because it makes you feel good. But I feel like in order for you to truly be happy within yourself in your life, you have to take a moment and love yourself. Take a moment and figure out what those triggers are. Figure out what kind of makes your mood excited, what kind of makes you kind of sad, and kind of lean towards the things that make you more happy. I want to let you guys also know that today is the season finale of season 2. So I want you guys to really look forward to season 3 that will be coming very shortly. And thank you guys so much to be watching Tany Talks for the last 2 seasons. I appreciate you guys and have a good night. Bye.